Before we go, I do want to say a quick thank you to Cookies Barbecue and let everyone know that these are the sauces that America loves to eat. Seasonings, sauces can be found on cookiesbarbecue.com and obviously at your local grocery store. Remember, smart cookies choose cookies. Let's get into this episode, guys. This is a fun one. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Iowa Chill Show. Me and Nate get the pleasure of an inside look at Texas. There's an apocalypse going on in Texas. We're all experiencing extremely cold weather right now, but some of us handle it better than others, it sounds like. I have no idea really what's going on, other than I've got a couple buddies down there that are saying that things are not good. Michael, what's going on down there?
Well, 2.8 million people are without power right now because it is like 3 degrees below zero and there's like 5 inches on the ground. I don't know. Texas has its, I don't know much about this, but I do know most of Texas has its own power grid. So we rely completely on ourselves to supply the power. And right now we have never seen this before. So I guess, I don't know, it's unprecedented, if you will. And if you're not sick of that word yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess basically the snow and the cold is fine, people can handle that. But it's when the power goes out and these houses and apartments down here aren't insulated. So pretty much these guys aren't used to trying to figure out a way how to stay warm, when their house all of a sudden loses power and becomes 5 degrees Fahrenheit. So I don't know. Basically, it's just cold.
So Michael's originally from Iowa. You moved to Texas from October, November-ish. So you kind of brought the cold weather with you, and now you're in Fort Worth.
Yep, I'm right outside of Fort Worth,
where there's just 100 vehicle crash the other day. So the world's really trying to get to you right now. If they can't kill you by vehicles, they're going to try to take you out with this cold weather from the North Iowa right now. So you guys said you have like 5 inches right now. Can you give us a quick look outside?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I think it's about 5-6 inches. It looks like it, but
is 5-6 inches a lot?
I don't know.
For Texas, it is. I mean, that's just a typical day looking right now in Iowa.
For Texas, this is quite a bit. It's definitely the most snow that we have gotten down here, and I think I heard on the radio in the past like 2 or 3 decades. So, the snow just doesn't want to leave me, which is fine with me, as long as I can snowboard. But there's no hills around here.
Can you tell us about some of the scenes at the grocery stores or wherever you're trying to go to find like some wood?
This is ridiculous. So I go to the Walmart yesterday, because I'm casually stocking up for work this week. And there's no meat, there's no water, there's no milk, there's no toilet paper. Just, it's a pandemic 2.0. And it's ridiculous. I mean, people freak out and they immediately have to take everything. I saw one dude, leaving with the last bit of meat. He had probably 15 pounds of meat in his grocery cart. It was like, come on, man, save some for the rest of us. You're going to be fine. But yeah, basically my message to all these Texans out here is it's going to be okay. The power is going to come back on soon. And hang in there, tough it out. You're gonna be fine. It's not the end of the world, I promise you.
There's some experienced guidance from an Iowan right there. So would you say that this is an overreaction or not?
I don't know if I know enough to say it's overreaction, but I do know some some things are an overreaction, like stocking your grocery cart full of like 15 pounds of meat. Yes, that's an overreaction. I have a wood burning fireplace, and I casually have, a fire every Friday night. It's a tradition here for me and Rue. Is Rue. It's a tradition for us to have a fire every Friday night. So I was going to get firewood, not thinking anything of the storm, and there's no firewood left. There's literally there's mountains of firewood at Tom Thumb where I go get it. And there wasn't even a wood chip left on that mound. But yeah, there's some overreaction, but that's just because these guys aren't used to seeing any type of cold, any type of snow. So and it's all, there's an exciting vibe in the air when something like this happens. These guys aren't used to snow, so they're kind of excited. They're stocking up, they're hunkering down, and there's some people that actually need food and actually need firewood, and it's not, I don't know. It's like I said, some people overreact, some people don't. But
Mike, it's
The one crazy. Go ahead, Bryce.
it's probably good that an experienced Iowan that's been through a polar vortex or two, and many inches of snow in his lifetime, that is down there right now, that can advise Texans. If you had one piece of advice for the people of Texas, what's the best way to handle extreme cold and snow?
basically, say you lose power. From my experience, is you isolate one room, get that room as warm as you can, put blankets over the windows if you have to, fill in cracks. If you say you have a door that has a crack in it, fill it in, but isolate one room, get cozied up, get a lot of blankets in there, get warm, get some board games, and tough it out, because it'll be back on before you know it. I promise.
Love it. That's your viral moment.
Yep, there we go.
Well, Mike, we appreciate for hopping on later in this podcast. Bryce and I are going to be talking a little bit about sports betting. So we figure right now is probably a good time to get you off before we get in details about that.
Yeah.
I heard that it wasn't going so good for you, Mike.
No. We'll keep my stats out of here, but yeah, past couple weeks haven't been too hot. I saw Big Cat on Barstool. He's retiring from sports betting, so I think I'm gonna hop on that train as well. It's not going well though, boys. If you want to make some money, bet against the team that I bet on, okay? Because you'll make a fortune in no time.
Deal.
Sounds good. Well, Mike, we appreciate it. You just keep us in the loop on what's going on in Texas, and go Hawks.
Yeah, no problem. Go Hawks, baby.
Nice talking to
See
you,
you
Mike.
guys. Thanks, guys.
So obviously the weather's been terrible. I mean, dude, it's like, I think today's actually the last day, February 15th, the last super cold day of the year. I think this morning was at like -15 here in Cedar Falls. I heard up in Mason City, it was -32, and Sioux City was -39, and that's without windshield.
Yeah, no kidding.
So I think we're finally coming to an end. It's been too long of a stretch. And that being said, February is the absolute least favorite month of mine.
Yeah, I see that you have a note on here. It's for sure. There's no other month really that competes with February as far as the worst month for you.
No, not even close.
Well, I mean, it's been last year we were fine in February, kind of. This year we're getting snow and the cold. 2 years ago we had the vortex. I feel like February you're just toast no matter what. This has not been a very fun February. I'm ready for the new month for sure. My least favorite month though is April, because it's the teaser month right before the summer. Not quite nice spring. Not quite good enough to go outside, but you get plenty of gloom and rain and cold winds.
April's, I totally respect that. The one terrible thing about April and March is slush, and this year could be an all-time slush fest with the amount of snow that we had and the cold that's kept the snow around.
Yeah, I'm worried about this weekend when it gets warm.
Oh Jesus, yeah, up to 32 degrees. But how nice is that going to feel when you step outside?
It's gonna be so nice. So last week we were starting the freeze. Probably midway through the freeze, we were depressed. Nothing was going well. We had the lead up to Valentine's Day. Sports betting was going terrible. How have things changed in a week?
How are things? Okay, sorry, I was looking at the notes. Say that again.
Yeah, what's different for you? I know personally I have a few thoughts on how the weekend went and how
Yep.
teams rebounded as far as our Hawkeyes and our Bulldogs. Um, I'm in better spirits. I'll say that. I'm in better spirits this week.
Yeah, I'm glad that Valentine's week is over. It didn't go as bad as last year. I'm not saying it went fantastic, but it basically what it comes down to is that surviving advance Valentine's
Yeah.
week.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And we kind of first off, Valentine's week is set for failure. It's always on it's always on a Sunday or like a Monday, Tuesday or something like that. I don't know. No, or is it always on a date? Be honest, I don't even know. I don't really
14th.
care. All I know is that it just needs to be on like maybe like the second Friday of February every week. We're set up for the beginning of the weekend. You're already anticipating on going out. Now it's on like a crappy Sunday where you're just already sad. So what we did, we kind of celebrated Valentine's week on this Friday, went to Red Lobster, and it went fine. It went well. Got the date over with, and about as good as it can go for me.
You kind of got put on blast last week. I put you out there, and your clip of not paying for your dinner last year was put out there. You paid for the dinner this year?
Yeah, the dinner was paid for this year. So that the video from last week, my girlfriend's students over at Wilton were talking a lot of shit about me apparently to her. It's like he wasn't paying for his girlfriend's meal last year. Julie, why are you with this guy and stuff like that? So I was taking a lot of bad rep, and I'll admit I was a terrible boyfriend last year. But this is a new year, a
Brand
new
new guy.
Nate, and a new boyfriend. So I learned my lesson, and this year's Valentine went better. I learned my lesson. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. How about yourself?
Well, I texted you halfway through the date. I did more of a February 13th instead of a 14th because it was
That's
on a
okay.
Sunday this year. So we did it a little earlier. But I texted you like halfway through the day and told you I was in the doghouse. I started the day in the doghouse. I woke up and immediately couldn't do any right. Like nothing was going right. Vibes were off apparently. My attitude was wrong. We try to like pep up. We check into a hotel about 15-20 minutes away, just a little something to get away. Couples retreat, go to dinner, get in a little dinner fight, come back, and it starts to get better. So it really was overall a good night. We did a little hot tubbing, little wine. They did like a charcuterie and wine thing. But it's such a holiday that sets you up for high expectations and ultimate failure.
That's the problem with it. There's such high expectations that come with it, and once you don't achieve those, you're just like, damn it, this sucks.
Yeah.
So, but you went to a hotel. That's more than I would ever even dream of doing on Valentine's Day. So I think you would take the icing on the cake this year. Congrats. Even though I was in the doghouse at 1 point. No worries. We overcame it, got through it, and it ended up being an okay Valentine's week. But like I said, this kind of surviving advance, and I'm just happy that it's over with.
Yeah, no doubt. Speaking of surviving and advancing, two big things. Iowa State is almost not even worth talking about right now. They're on a losing streak of 20 plus points that I see in the notes here for 3 straight games, the most in 60 years.
Versus Kansas, 3 straight 20-point losses versus Kansas, which is not a good Kansas team. They're not even ranked at top 25 this year, but they just. Yep. So that's 3 straight 20-point losses to Kansas in like 60 some years. And now it moves Iowa State to 0-10 in the conference. Iowa State, I don't think they've ever gone winless in the conference other than the Spanish flu that they won 1 game that year back in like 1916. They won 1 game in the Big 12 that year. So,
okay.
So they're at least able to overcome 1 victory back in the Spanish flu. Now they're in another pandemic. How will they handle it? A little bit of the season left. We'll see. We're going to move on for them. Let's jump into the Drake Loyola game, and then we'll go right to Iowa. Drake and Loyola split one. The first game was an absolute murder fest. Loyola pitted to them in the second half. Of course, I had money on Drake winning that game. You had them uncovering. That wasn't going to happen. There's no way the betting gods were going to let us get away with that one.
No.
And to do me over the next day, Drake wins in overtime by 1 point. What if a score was it 50-51 in overtime?
Super low scoring. So I didn't watch the whole game. I caught the second half and then put a bet down in overtime for the money line for Drake to win, and that did come through. Basically, just saved me from the losses I lost on the day before. Something I didn't know was that their star player had just gotten foot surgery.
No
Hempel.
idea.
Yeah, I didn't either. And they lead in the first half of the first game. And then in the second half, Loyola really showed what they're capable of on the road for both games. It's the Missouri Valley Conference way this year with COVID. They're playing back-to-back games at somebody's home court, and they looked so good in the first game, and then played neck and neck the whole game on Sunday. And Drake was able to squeak out an overtime victory, which is really impressive after losing your star player.
Right. I wasn't able to catch the second game, but I do know that this is Drake's first quad one win, which is great for the resume building. Drake was 19-1 up to the first game. Now they're 22 overall. I'm not sure. I think the MVC should allow 2 teams this year into the NCAA tournament. That being said, I think what needs to come down is that it needs to be Drake and Loyola and the Missouri Valley Conference Championship against one another. As long as either one of them maybe lose 1 or 2 at most throughout the rest of the regular season.
That's my thought too. A lot of people were saying that was a marquee victory that Drake really needed to be considered for the tournament. If they don't end up winning the conference tournament at the end, I think that they should be considered regardless. But again, like conference tournament wins are huge, and it's going to be huge for both teams now that they've split. That was fun to watch. I really like how scrappy Drake plays. I love Coach Davis. Dude,
DeVries.
Yeah, DeVries. Did you see DeVries and the opposing coach getting in a little scuffle after the game?
Yeah, I did.
He
like
got fired up. I like his energy a lot. I believe in Coach DeVries. I don't know how confident I am to bet on them for the remainder of the season because of the loss of Shanquin Hempel. I'm not even sure how to pronounce the name without sounding like a jackass, but he top scorer and second leading rebounder. That's going to be tough going into the postseason for sure.
Right. From my understanding, he's out for 4 weeks, which will come back around NCAA tournament time. Hopefully, Drake is able to withstand the loss of him and make it to the NCAA tournament. I would like to see Drake in the NCAA tournament. But other good news, Bryce, I think I sounded the panic alarm at the right time last week. Iowa is now on a 2-0 since I've sounded the panic alarm. And that was my idea behind this. I didn't necessarily want to sound a panic alarm, but I did it out of instinct, hoping that it would set Iowa into a winning streak. And here we are, 2-0, a big win versus Rutgers on Wednesday night that saved you and I some money.
Yes. Well, we went with history. We decided that Iowa was predicted to get 78.5 points. Iowa's been scoring very heavily, pouring on the buckets this year. But they almost don't do it. They are up by a lot of, I want to say 6 baskets. They hit a few free throws at the end. There's about a minute left, and they're up by like 15 points, right?
Not close enough for Rutgers to be fouling and send them back to the line. And it comes down to the final possession because even if Rutgers takes a final shot at the end, Iowa gets a rebound. There's no shot clock. Iowa would take a shot clock, but it comes down to the point where Iowa is forced to take one last shot clock shot. And Jordan Bohannon.
We need a 3.
We need a 3. We're at 76 points. We need 79 for the mark. And Jabo launches up a 8 foot behind the line 3-pointer and banks it in. And I went flipping nuts. $140. You would have thought I won $2 million, but the fact that we won any money out of that game is an absolute miracle. So shout out to Jordan Bohannon. I know he was sticking to the bettors on that point. Probably not, but all I know is that I got a nice little $40 cut from that. So that was a great way to start my Wednesday. End my Wednesday.
Huge rebound for Iowa because they not only win that game and then they go on to beat Michigan State heftily. Also a huge rebound for betting. I mean, that kicked things off for us. Got the point spread cover on the Iowa game. Got that last second 3 from Jordan Bohannon. So we got the over on Iowa's points. I was in the dumps. I bet against the GOAT Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, and after that, I went on an 8-game bet losing streak, and now I'm back up. I've actually made more money than I put in again, so we're back on. I'm putting heavy money on the Hawkeyes. I believe they showed the stats of Franuary, the December and January win percentage versus the February win percentage, and my goodness, I didn't know it was that bad. But the Hawkeyes basketball team does not play well in February or March for that matter.
No, also known as a Fran fade. But the good sign right now is that Iowa's absolutely obliterated Michigan State, handled Rutgers pretty well. And this is without the dominance of Luka Garza. There's a new star, not a new star emerge, but a reemergence of Joe Wieskamp has
Yeah.
been a straight flipping baller these last couple games. I mean, he's been hitting pull-up threes from deep, contested threes. He's unstoppable right now. And this is, if a Wieskamp was playing like this into the momentum of March, I think Iowa has a legitimate shot at making it to Elite Eight with him.
Agreed. It's something that we needed to see from this Hawkeyes team was the next level. I spoke on it, I think the last couple of weeks when the Hawks were having a little bit of a skid, that you kind of re-identify yourself in the middle of the season. And so I'm okay with those few losses. Now it's time to pick up and finish strong, get a good seed in the Big Ten tournament, and obviously perform well in that tournament so that you have a better chance at a, 4 or 5, maybe 3 seed in March Madness. But that's the biggest difference is like we were probably going 80% load with Garza, maybe more at the beginning of the season. And now it feels like Garza first, but we're in the motion, like we're in the flow of the offense where guys like Wieskamp, Bohannon, Frederick, when he's healthy,
Connor McCaffrey's hitting the tray ball. He
McCaffrey's
hit
hitting
3 or 4 of
shots.
them last week.
Yeah.
Last on Saturday.
That's what's most exciting, I think, to me, is that like the team just feels like it's in more of like a normal flow. You're getting output from guys other than Garza.
Right. So, and that's what Iowa needs to keep a nice little balance. Otherwise, the entire focus is on Luka. Luka scoring buckets at will kind of, in a way, can take your team out of momentum with everybody sharing the ball, everybody hitting threes. Iowa's a completely unstoppable team from the offensive end, the highest offensive rating in the country according to KenPom rankings. And this is without CJ Frederick, who's been kind of on and off right now with his leg injury. CJ, I don't know what in the world is wrong with your leg. Fix it, please. Take my leg for now. Get back. We need you back for the March run. But if the Iowa continues to play like this, it's going to be great. Although the next upcoming 5 or 6 games are all teams ahead of Iowa right now in the Big Ten standing. So it's going to be tough, brutal end of our schedule this year.
Okay, we got 2 Wisconsin, 1 Michigan, 1 Ohio State.
Yep. And the one team that's not in front of us is Penn State.
Okay. What is your prediction for the remaining games?
I'm not sure how many left. I think 6. So I think I would like to go 4-2. 4-2, I'm feeling good. 3-3, whatever. 2-4, I'm like, but 4-2 is my expectations after the last couple of games we played.
Split Wisconsin, split with Ohio State after this times win, and then taking down Michigan for the only matchup of the year would be really awesome to go into the tournament.
Right.
I'm pumped. The Big Ten tournament's going to be a blast this year. I have high hopes. Wisconsin Thursday. Yeah. I mean, Wisconsin's there's just a few teams right in the middle of the Big Ten that I'm not sure what their identity is yet. Ohio State's on one of those like huge streaks. I think they're on a 6-game win streak, but I think they might be a little overrated. Michigan's consistently winning close games, so I think that they deserve to be at the top. Rutgers we just took down. There's just a few of those teams. I think Iowa is definitely still in the top quartile, but not sure where they sit yet.
Right. Especially if Illinois being up there too. I know Michigan and Ohio State are projected to be 1 seeds. Iowa's a 3 seed and Illinois a 2 seed. So we're right at the top of the tier with these guys. And like I said, it's going to be a brutal end, and hopefully we can place ourselves in a two first round buys in the Big Ten tournament, which will be huge. And then just get to NCAA tournament for 3 seed.
Yeah. 3. I think 3 is a great goal. I think at worst, 5 or 6, which, gosh, when you get put in the 5 or 6 seed in the NCAA tournament, you're at risk of getting booted the first round.
Right. It's a matter of at least maybe this at best second round. So I don't know. For now, we're going to ride the Hawkeyes momentum. We'll go from there. But Bryce, we got some big bets. We just won our $50 bet or $25 bet last night from the Lakers scoring at least 1 point. That's big. $50 to put back into the account. Bryce, I got a bet for you to throw down right now with me.
Okay.
I've already answered. I took 25 in the Utah Jazz scoring the first odds boost of the first bucket tonight against the 76ers.
Oh, I see that. Plus 200.
Plus 200.
Okay. I'm going to opt into that. I got so excited about how much momentum. You remember the energy that we came into the podcast with last week?
No.
Just depressed. I mean, I had lost.
Oh, God.
I was down to like $40 in my account. I'm back up to 140. Like, I'm feeling really good after this week. So I'm willing to put down some money. I just opted in. I couldn't not talk about betting right away. I was excited. Okay, opted in. What am I doing here?
I put 25 on Utah Jazz with the 200 plus odds to score the first bucket of the game tonight. And I think that's automatic money.
All right.
Payout
This-
75.
Let's see. Game lines, player props, halves. Which one am I looking for here?
First team to score.
First team to score. Okay. It's done.
25 on the Utah Jazz.
$25. Yep.
All right.
Good about it.
8:20 tonight. We'll keep in touch during that time.
Yeah, it's been helpful. I mean, I think I've been asking a lot of opinions, and I'll admit, like, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I'm getting a lot of bad advice from Twitter. Few guys.
Don't go to Twitter. I've never
Oh.
won off of Twitter advice.
Ball Don't Lie podcast. Shout out to those guys. I'm 50-50 with them. Teddy Howley, the Beer Can Alley owner, giving me bad advice on the mid majors.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm just getting like mixed advice. But one thing I will say is when we're going back and forth and feeling good about a bet, I feel like we're about 75%.
Agree. And the one good thing I kind of like about these first teams to score is like it doesn't stress me out for 2 hours of game kind of going back and forth. It's just kind of a quick hit or a quick punch. So
yeah,
I
well,
like
that's
these
why I
bets.
was kind of pumped to get involved in the Drake game. I watched the end of the fourth quarter and like it wouldn't even let you bet because it was too far along in the game. But then it reopened because I went to overtime. I'm like, cool, like that's 5 minutes. I can wait 5 minutes. I like the quick hitters as well.
Right, a little bit less stressful. All right,
Well,
Bryce.
I feel good about it. Let's get.
All right, Bryce, we got another draft this week. This week's draft is top 5 cereals of your favorite. It could be from childhood to current ones. If we're going to rank them the top 5, as you know, when it comes to the draft, once you take one off the board, it eliminates my option from picking that same cereal. So our top 5 list will be completely different than the other person. So when you're ready, we can go ahead. I will give you the first pick.
I was born and raised on this cereal. Tony the Tiger said it best. They're great. I choose the Frosted Flake.
And that'll eliminate one of my top picks right there. That's a solid pick to go off. I want to go with Cinnamon Toast Crunch as my number 1. Now I run back with it.
Yeah.
Lucky Charms, number 2 for me.
I was just gonna say I don't think I would have even put Cinnamon Toast Crunch in my top 5.
Oh shit!
Really? And I know that that's a very like minority opinion, but I just think they get soggy and they taste weird.
You got to eat them quick. That's a fact. You have to.
Captain Crunch is gonna be my number 2.
That was the one I forgot to put on my list. But that's Captain Crunch with berries or just straight Captain Crunch. You got to do Captain Crunch with berries, right? Okay, so Captain Crunch will take Bryce's number 2.
Cocoa Pebbles.
Pebbles.
Yep, Cocoa Pebbles.
Cocoa Pebbles are chocolatey and they're good. I kind of went on a stretch with those. I'm going to go with my number 3, Reese's Puffs.
Yep, fire.
And I'm going to run it back with number 4 at Cookie Crisp.
Okay, that's another one where it's like it's good for the first couple bites, and I just don't know if I like it.
You're not like I see the texture you're going at right now, and I totally get it. I totally respect that. It's the type of cereal that you got to eat within like the first minute, so you got to down it.
I love Honey Bunches of Oats.
I don't think I've even heard of that cereal. Maybe I've heard of it. I don't think I've ever had it.
I think you should try it. It's pretty good stuff.
With my number 5, I want to go Fruit Loops. Fruit Loops is my number 5.
Ew, Wheaties, one of the worst cereals.
I was gonna say if there's a cereal that ranked the worst, it'd be Wheaties.
Honey Nut Cheerios is gonna be up there. That's a fire cereal.
So what we used to do back in the day, my dad taught me this. Hence why we probably have diabetes. And I will in the future. We used to take a bunch of sugar and dump it, a shit ton of sugar, and just dump it on our Honey Nut Cheerios and just soak it in there and then just eat. I do every day before school when I was in kindergarten. My dad always did it too. It was the only way I can eat Honey Nut Cheerios, but it tasted so damn good.
That's amazing because like they're already kind of sweet. Like regular Cheerios taste like dust. But Cheerios are a little sweet already. I love that. We did that with grape nuts. For some reason, my dad always wanted to eat grape nuts when I was a kid, and he dumped some sugar on that stuff. Loved the Honey Nut Cheerios double sugar action. So the cereal draft was a good idea. What was our first draft? What did we do?
Our first draft was the top 5 Christmas songs.
Yeah.
And we haven't done a draft since, but I won that one according to our Twitter audience and Instagram audience. I think this week you're probably going to take the cereal audience. And then I think we might have our next biggest draft coming up next week. We're going to do top 5 Disney movie draft. So
for that one.
I'm going to give you a week to start preparing your list for that.
Yeah, I'll be more prepared. You gave me a heads up that we were doing the cereal draft this week. I have to admit I did not put my top 5 down on paper, and if I would have had a second to think, I think my final 2 could have been a little stronger. I feel good about my first 3.
I still feel you have a pretty solid 3. You have a good perspective on my cereal that you kind of have to eat real quick, otherwise it gets a little soggy. That's a very important aspect when it comes to cereal. But cereal is a very controversial topic, and people have very strong, constricted opinions on what cereal is ranked number one. So I'll be interested to see some of the feedback, and I think that you will probably take the championship for this one.
Okay, we'll see what the people say. For this week's cookies saucy question of the week, cookies barbecue sauce that America loves to eat and that should be on every Iowan's table. Smart cookies choose cookies, and you can find that stuff at Fairway Hy-Vee. Any local grocery store in Iowa should have this stuff, and then also at cookiesbarbecue.com. Cookies saucy question of the week. What is the best and worst part of winter in Iowa?
The best part, so this is why February is my least favorite month. So when it comes to January, I actually enjoy winter. I love the snow. I love the change of seasons. It's good to see some difference in like snowstorms. And by the time February comes, I get kind of sick of it. So my favorite part of winter is just the change of season, being cold, seeing snowstorms. And then honestly, when it goes away, I get super excited. And then my least favorite part is just basically when it comes to February, I just get sick of it. It's just I get too anxious being stuck inside all day. So I want to get outside and just have a damn good time, play catch with you, or just run around the block.
Yeah,
How
I
about,
totally agree.
How about yourself?
I'd say that the exact same thing. It limits what you're able to do. My dark horse one is that I get dry skin. I hate dry skin, chapped lips. By this time, I'm a cracker. I'm a wafer. That I need to lube up on coconut oil and lotion every day. So I mean that's my least favorite part. But just the generic, like, it sucks not being able to drive where you want to go and do what you want to do outside. Iowa winter can be brutal. I do like the switch up. I think summer gets hot and like you kind of get like used to the summer, like warm, nice weather. So it's kind of like a nice switch up.
And I'm starting. Yeah, I agree with the crack lips. That's terrible. We're getting a little pale right now, but Bryce, I'm heading to Florida the next week, and
Yeah,
I wish I was gone this week. So we're gonna have to do a live stream or a podcast with me on the beach or something, and
yes.
then
What day do you leave?
I leave Tuesday, so maybe not this next. We'll probably do a podcast on Monday, and then so I'll be there for like a week and a half. So the next week we'll probably do another podcast while I'm down there.
Cool. Yeah, that'll be great. This is a year to go to Florida. You can switch up because it has been freezing cold.
I'm hoping to go at the right time, right when I go, like all the slush starts happening, so I can when I get back because it's supposed to be above freezing starting Monday or Sunday. So hopefully by the time I get back, at least half of the snow is gone.
Cool. I'm excited for you. I'm just excited for a little bit of warmth. It was great to have a little insight from Michael Berke. Thanks for listening. Give it a share, give it a like, give it a review. Let's go Jazz. I'm pumped about the Jazz tonight.
Yeah, go Jazz 820. Bryce and I might be $25 poor by the end of the night.
I know.
But it's a fun anticipation leading up to the tip-off.
All right, folks. We'll catch you next week.